You carry secrets in your mind, ones you never chose, yet they control your every move. Your childhood isn't just memories. It's the battlefield where your unconscious was forged, shaping desires you don't understand. Freud uncovered a dark truth. What happened beneath your parents' gaze still whispers inside you, guiding fears and cravings you thought were yours alone. What if the part of you that feels out of control is actually a shadow from your past, buried but never gone? How much of your adult life is just a replay of childhood dramas you never escaped? This isn't just psychology, it's a psychological trap. And once you see it, your whole sense of self might never feel the same again. If this already makes you uncomfortable, that's a good sign. Like, subscribe, and share to dive deeper into the shadows your mind hides. We're about to unravel the unsettling truths Freud uncovered about your childhood. Truths that still shape you every day. Stay curious, because what you don't know can still control you. The hidden mind. What Freud really found in childhood. When you think about your childhood, what comes to mind? Happy memories? Trauma? Moments you'd rather forget? Freud believed there's more hidden beneath those memories. A powerful, unseen force shaping your entire life. He called it the unconscious mind. The unconscious isn't just a dusty storage of forgotten memories. It's a living, breathing part of you that silently drives your decisions, feelings, and reactions. According to Freud, this part of the mind was largely formed in your earliest years, before you even knew what you were doing. Imagine your mind as an iceberg. The tiny tip you see is your conscious thoughts, but below the surface lies a massive, submerged world of impulses, fears, and desires that you're barely aware of. Freud's biggest revelation was that childhood experiences build that iceberg, creating patterns and conflicts that ripple through your adult life. But here's the catch. You don't have direct access to this underwater world. It operates without your permission, influencing your behavior without your knowing. Sometimes it makes you do things that surprise even you. Why? Because your unconscious mind holds onto all the hidden feelings and unresolved conflicts from childhood. Freud's work wasn't just theory. It was built on case studies that revealed shocking insights. Take the famous Anna O. case, for example. A young woman suffering mysterious symptoms, paralysis, hallucinations, that had no physical cause. Freud found that these symptoms stemmed from deeply repressed childhood traumas. Once these memories surfaced, her symptoms eased. This case was groundbreaking. It proved that childhood experiences could leave invisible scars, influencing behavior decades later without conscious awareness. Your mind isn't a blank slate wiped clean each day. Instead, it's a battleground of hidden conflicts, many seeded in childhood. So what does this mean for you? Every argument you can't explain, every fear that seems irrational might be echoes from those early years. It's unsettling to realize that your thoughts and choices aren't always your own, but products of a childhood you never fully understood. Freud's discovery forces us to ask, how much control do we really have? Are you the author of your story, or just a character trapped in a script written long ago? The unseen puppeteer. Childhood trauma's grip. Have you ever wondered why certain fears or habits stick with you, even when they make no sense? Why some people react intensely to seemingly minor triggers? Freud's research suggests that childhood trauma acts like an unseen puppeteer, pulling strings you don't even realize exist. Trauma isn't always the big, obvious events. It can be subtle, like a harsh word from a parent, neglect, or feeling invisible in a crowded room. These moments may seem small, but in the fragile years of childhood, they carve deep grooves in the unconscious mind. Studies today confirm Freud's early insights. Neuroscience shows that traumatic experiences in childhood physically change the brain, especially areas linked to emotion and stress regulation. The amygdala, the brain's alarm system, can become overactive, causing heightened anxiety or emotional reactions well into adulthood. What's even more disturbing is how trauma operates beneath your awareness. You might not remember the event or understand why you react the way you do, but your brain hasn't forgotten. It's like a ghost haunting your emotional life, nudging you toward fear, anger, or avoidance without a clear reason. Here's a striking example. Survivors of childhood trauma often develop trigger responses, intense emotional reactions to situations that resemble, even faintly, their original trauma. A simple disagreement might feel like a threat to their safety, causing panic or withdrawal. You might even see this in yourself or someone close, reactions that seem out of proportion, but rooted deep in the past. Freud argued that because these traumatic memories are buried deep in the unconscious, the mind creates defense mechanisms to protect itself. Denial, repression, or displacement are psychological shields. But while they offer temporary relief, they also keep the trauma alive in the shadows, influencing your behavior without conscious control. This unconscious puppeteer can shape relationships, career choices, and even your sense of self-worth. You might constantly sabotage your success or avoid intimacy without knowing why. Freud's dark truth is that much of what you believe is you is actually trauma replaying in disguise. The real question is, can you ever break free from this invisible grip? Is understanding trauma enough to loosen its hold? We'll explore that later. But first, let's dive into how your mind hides these dark secrets, through a process Freud called repression. Repressed desires. The mind's dark secret. Have you ever felt a sudden rush of emotion, anger, jealousy, or fear, that seemed to come out of nowhere? Freud believed these unexpected feelings often stem from something much deeper: repressed desires and fears buried in your unconscious. Repression is the mind's way of protecting you from thoughts and feelings that feel too dangerous or shameful to face. Imagine your mind as a fortress, pushing away anything that threatens its stability, locking away forbidden wishes or painful memories. But repression is a double-edged sword. While it keeps painful feelings out of your conscious awareness, it doesn't erase them. Instead, these repressed emotions lurk beneath the surface, influencing your behavior in subtle, and sometimes disturbing, ways. Freud argued that repressed desires could take many forms. For example, someone might repress feelings of anger toward a parent and instead develop anxiety or self-doubt. Or hidden jealousy could disguise itself as constant dissatisfaction with life. The mind disguises these buried truths with defense mechanisms like projection, where you see your own unwanted feelings in others, or sublimation, where forbidden desires find expression in socially acceptable ways. Take the case of a man who outwardly appears calm and successful but struggles with sudden bouts of rage or self-sabotage. Freud would say these behaviors often mask repressed conflicts from childhood, feelings he couldn't express then, now erupting in disguised forms. It's like a pressure cooker with no release valve. Research in modern psychology supports this. Studies show that repression isn't just about hiding feelings but involves real brain activity where emotional memories are suppressed from conscious awareness. But the emotions don't disappear. They sneak out through dreams, slips of the tongue, or unexplained behaviors. This dark secret means that part of your mind holds desires and fears that, if revealed, might shock even you. The scary part? You might not even realize these hidden parts are shaping your decisions, from who you trust to how you handle conflict. So, how much of yourself is genuinely you, and how much is a mask built over repressed desires? Freud's unsettling answer suggests that understanding repression is key to unmasking the true forces behind your actions. Next, we'll tackle one of Freud's most controversial ideas, the Oedipus complex, and uncover why it still sparks debate about family and desire today. The Oedipus complex. More than just a myth, you've probably heard the term Oedipus complex tossed around, maybe as a joke or a Freudian cliché, but beneath the surface, it touches on something deeply unsettling about family, desire, and identity. Freud proposed that during early childhood, a powerful emotional conflict arises. A child unconsciously desires the opposite-sex parent and feels rivalry or jealousy toward the same-sex parent. This isn't just a weird theory. Freud saw it as a fundamental stage shaping how we relate to others and ourselves for life. At first glance, it sounds disturbing, even taboo. But what Freud was really pointing to was the complex web of attachment, jealousy, and identity formation every child navigates. It's about how early relationships set the blueprint for trust, love, and rivalry. Many critics have dismissed the Oedipus complex as outdated or sexist, but modern psychology still finds echoes of it. Think about sibling rivalry, parental favoritism, or even how we unconsciously seek approval and affection from people who remind us of our parents. Here's where it gets even more intriguing and unsettling. Freud suggested that if this complex isn't resolved, it can lead to lasting psychological conflicts. Unconscious desires or resentments toward parents may influence your adult relationships, self-esteem, even career choices. Imagine carrying unresolved jealousy or guilt without knowing it. It might manifest as difficulty trusting partners or constant feelings of inadequacy. Some therapists today still explore these early family dynamics because they can reveal hidden blocks to personal growth. But the Oedipus complex isn't about literal incestuous feelings. It's symbolic of the intense emotions swirling around love, power, and identity in a family. It exposes how childhood emotional entanglements can create invisible chains that bind you. So next time you feel inexplicably drawn to or repelled by someone, ask yourself, is this about them or a shadow from your childhood? Our final chapter will explore if and how you can ever break free from these hidden forces. Breaking free. Can you escape childhood's shadow? After diving deep into Freud's discoveries, the unconscious mind, trauma's grip, repression, and the tangled family dynamics, you might wonder, is escape even possible? Can you truly break free from childhood's invisible chains? The honest answer is complicated. Freud himself believed that while childhood shapes us profoundly, awareness is the first step toward freedom. By bringing unconscious conflicts into the light of consciousness, you can start to untangle the knots and make conscious choices. But it's not easy. The mind resists change. Those dark shadows feel familiar, almost like old friends. You might resist facing painful truths or notice patterns repeating despite your best efforts. That resistance is part of the psychological defense system Freud described. Modern therapy builds on this, using techniques like psychoanalysis, cognitive behavioral therapy, and mindfulness to help people confront and understand their hidden drivers. Studies show that people who do this often experience lasting change, reduced anxiety, healthier relationships, and a stronger sense of self. Breaking free. Can you escape childhood's shadow? But here's the real challenge. Breaking free doesn't mean erasing your past or becoming a different person overnight. It means accepting those hidden parts, the fears, desires, and wounds, and learning to live with them without letting them control you. Freud believed this self-awareness is a lifelong process. Every choice you make can either reinforce old patterns or carve new paths. It's like shining a flashlight into the darkest corners of your mind, sometimes uncomfortable, but necessary for true freedom. So what can you do right now? Start by observing your reactions without judgment. When you feel overwhelmed or triggered, ask, is this really about what's happening now or something from my past? That simple question cracks open the door to your unconscious. Remember, understanding Freud's disturbing truth about childhood isn't about blame or fear. It's about reclaiming your mind from the shadows. The more you learn, the more control you gain over the story you live.